and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video all about winged eyeliner. I have done a video about winged eyeliner in the past and it's something that I feel like has been requested a lot lately. I done a how to be a pro at winged liner quite a while back. I think it's about over a year ago now. It was a real in-depth lesson. I think that was like a half-an-hour video. This is of course not like that. It's a little bit more straight to the point. So if you guys do want to know how I create my winged liner and the method that I would recommend to anybody that wants to create it too, then just keep on watching.
So to begin with, I'm starting off with my favourite eyeliner. This is the L'Oreal Super Liner Slim, and I'm taking this because it is one of my favourites. It's very easy. The first tip I have for you is to lean on your cheek, especially with your pinky finger. This just gives you a lot more balance and will prevent a lot of mistakes. So this is definitely something you should get in the habit of doing because you'll just have a lot more stabilization this way. I personally like starting off the liner on my eyelid because this is just what I find easier. I actually do the wing first on my other eye to show you guys the difference, but to be honest, it's just whatever you feel most comfortable with. I like to start off as thin as possible and then gradually make it thicker because I just feel that we always end up making mistakes somehow, and making it thicker is always a possibility. And the shape I like to create is just following the natural curve of my eye. Next, we're going to be creating the wing, and I'm going to show you guys a little tip. I mean, I'm sure you've seen this all over YouTube, but you can use tape to create the wing because I definitely feel like this simplifies everything a lot. I think the wing is personally the hardest part of creating the whole of the liner, so if you could just use this to create the wing and then you can do the rest without it, I personally feel like this is really good if you're just getting started out. But if you do want to do it freehand, I will of course be showing you what I like to do. So where I like to actually start the wing is where the upper lash line and the bottom lash line meet. So basically your outer tear duct. That's where I like to start the wing, and then once I've drawn the wing, I like to join up the end of the wing to the middle of my pupil. So from those two little points, I'm going to draw a line, just joining them both together. I like to try and do this in the most fluid motion as possible, and then once it's kind of created to a point at the tip, I will of course go ahead and fill it in. Now once I've kind of joined those two tips up, this is when you do a lot of the perfecting. So what I like to do is just go ahead and add on more thickness. I feel like gradually is always the best because I just feel like if you do too thick too quickly, it's really hard to take away. But if you do feel like you do make mistakes, concealer can hide almost anything. A really nice full coverage cream concealer, I'm using one from Kiko, and just a small tiny brush will change your life. So just kind of go ahead and just fix up any of the edges, and this will really just help you if you go too much too quickly. So usually I'd show you all how to do just one eye in itself, but I am going to be showing you guys the other eye, and I'm going to be kind of changing it about. I'm going to be starting off with the wing this time just to show you that you can do it this way as well. This is actually my uncomfortable eye. Like, you know how we all have an eye we're not really too comfortable with, so I definitely feel like this eye always gets way more mistakes than the other one. The concealer definitely comes in handy for this eye, so I definitely like to change up the angle, but the same kind of ratio applies. I like to connect the tip all the way into the center of my pupil, and I feel like that is the good ratio that works really well for me. So now that I've shown you all how to do it, I'm now going to be telling you guys a few more tips and tricks and also some of my favorite eyeliners as well.
So I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys a few things that I feel like really help beginners. Number one is just the most obvious, and I don't want to dawn on it for too long because it's pretty obvious, but it's extremely important, and it's just to practice and figure out what suits your eye shape and face shape the most. I have probably experimented the most in all of makeup with eyeliner. I think eyeliner is one of my favorite things to do because I feel like it just really enhances the eyes and the face. So I love to do a winged eyeliner. For a lot of people, a winged eyeliner may not be the actual best course of action. It can be done, but it may not enhance your eyes exactly how you want it to. So maybe eyeshadow might be a little bit better. Maybe doing a winged liner with eyeshadow or doing it with a pencil and smudging it, that might enhance your eyes a lot more. So it's something that you do really need to play about with. You need to look at how much space you have. You need to know how much you kind of want to pull it outwards. You need to know how much your eyes upturn. It's something that it's hard for me to kind of just explain for every single eye shape because, I mean, think about how many eye shapes there really are. Close set, wide set, like there's so many different combinations. If you guys would like me to do a really in-depth video about eyeliners for different shapes, then I can definitely do something like that, but it is very hard to explain because it's something that is very personal. So it's a lot better off you guys just kind of experimenting and just trying out and seeing what works on your eye shape. You kind of just need to think to yourself, like, what do I want to do to my eyes? So when I look at my eyes are actually more slightly closer set. So what that means is that they're actually closer to my nose than they are to my temples. So the more I extend eyeliner, the more it's going to make my eyes look like they're dragging outwards, and that's going to solve that particular problem. So if you look at your eyes, for example, and you feel like my eyes droop downwards too much, then you can kind of think, okay, well the eyeliner style I'm going to pick is going to be the opposite of that, and I'm going to do an eyeliner shape that comes upwards more to really counteract with a downturned eye shape. So that's kind of what we're going for. It takes a lot of practice, but there are certain methods you can do that really makes life a lot easier. The tape method is 100% one of the best things to get started on. I started on that with eyeshadow, but personally now I find it actually harder to do tape than freehand because I find it hard to get the angle. I just personally feel like when I do it with my hand, I find it a lot easier. So using tape in the area that you want to create that eyeliner, it's actually the wing that I personally find is the hardest part. Once you've got the line in the place where you need it to and you've got the length that you want, the rest of it is really easy in my opinion. That's the hardest part for winged eyeliner. So if you're finding it hardest to create that little line, use a piece of tape, and if you really want to try freehand, just really practice and really find what really works for you. So typically to create a winged liner, you would want to have some sort of liquid or gel liner. You can use a pencil, but it does make life a little bit harder to create that super like intense line. Or if you wanted to go for a smudged wing liner, that is going to be your better course of action, either that or a gel. But I'd probably say a pencil because a gel can be a little bit harder to smudge out. Really what you want if you want to create a winged eyeliner like myself, or even if it's just a normal line without actually winging it out, but you want it to be quite intense and very structured and not smudgy, you want to go for a liquid or a gel. So there are lots of different types that you could go for, but my personal favorite, and I think this is what I mentioned in my last video as well, so it's actually been a favorite of mine for a really long time, it's a pen, and this is one of my favorite pen liners. This is the L'Oreal Paris Super Liner Perfect Slim, and this is probably one of the easiest liners to use because it's so tiny. Like getting a really tiny point is just going to make life a lot easier in my opinion. There are pens a lot like this. This is the e.l.f. Intense Ink Liner. This is also a pen. Ugh, if I can open it, it's a lot thicker. It does come to a point still, which is really good. When you are creating eyeliner, you really want to have total control over the eyeliner. So you really want to be using the eyeliner you feel the most comfortable with. Some people actually don't get along with pens. I personally find that these little eyeliners, this one's from NYX where it has a little brush on the end, I personally find these harder to create a shape. I love these for like intensifying my liner and making everything look darker, but I don't like them for actually creating the wing because I personally feel like the brush is too flimsy and it's a lot easier to mess up. If you actually want to go for a liquid, I personally like it when they have a little nib. I don't know what to actually call this. It's almost like a little pointed sponge almost, but it's stiff, and that's what makes life a lot easier. This is very similar to the pen, so it's kind of on the same kind of lines. I definitely recommend these over a gel, using a brush or having an actual eyeliner that has a brush within it, just because I personally find that if the brush is too flimsy, it's a lot easier to make those kind of mistakes. I kind of explained this in the tutorial as well, that you do want to be as gradual as possible. Even if you're going to go for a little bit of a thicker eyeliner like me, you want to start off as thin as possible and gradually build it, because it's likely that you're going to make some sort of mistake. Everybody makes mistakes when they do winged eyeliner. No one can create it perfectly. I make mistakes all the time. People basically tell me that my eyeliner is like perfect. It is not, and you do not know the struggle it took to get there. The struggle is definitely real, and there are definitely moments where I'm like, okay, right, I'm done with life. I just want to like remove it all and start again. I really hope you guys enjoyed this eyeliner tutorial, and I really hope this helped some beginners out there. If you did enjoy this video, then don't forget to like it for me and subscribe if you haven't already, because I'd love to have you. Don't forget to follow me on social media and my vlog channel. It will all be listed down below. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you later. Bye!